Are you balling on a budget? Well, this week for Tactical Tuesday, we are going to show you two very different but equally capable AR-15 builds that are built at a very reasonable price point. So as mentioned at the beginning of the video, this week for Tactical Tuesday, we wanted to give ourselves a little bit of a challenge, and we wanted to try and set up two capable AR-15s that have all of the accessories that we would want in a defensively set up carbine.
So for these builds, the price point we've set ourselves is $2,000. That will be including the sales tax, but not including the tax stamp on the suppressor.
The idea was that it's not just the cost of the rifle. We wanted to include all of the accessories as well under that $2,000 price point. That can very easily be achieved if you don't include the cost of a suppressor, but we wanted to go ahead and push ourselves a little bit and include that suppressor because we feel like that is an accessory that can really make a huge difference on a platform like an AR-15. Is it 100% necessary? Maybe not, but it's a huge advantage if you have one and really does make the whole shooting experience much more pleasant. So kind of keep that in mind as we're discussing our builds. While we've got that budget set at $2,000, that is including the cost of the suppressor.
So both of these builds bear, just the rifle come in under $1,000. So keep that in mind that we were able to dress both these up really how each one of us would kind of put this in our closet if we were going to run this as our daily use AR-15. And we were able to do that at under $2,000 with a couple different options between both these builds. We'll go into dive into each one of these one by one and walk you through what we did to them.
So I'm going to go ahead and start things off with my build. I chose the SIG M400 Tread as my base model gun. The gun comes in right around $880 retail out of the box. And out of the box, you get a lot of great parts on this gun. There's a couple things that I would change on it ultimately, but for today's exercise, I'm very satisfied with what it comes with. That doesn't really need to be changed. Out of the box, you will find that the rifle comes with a 3-prong flash hider. I went ahead and swapped that out and installed the Yankee Hill muzzle device so that I could run a Yankee Hill Turbo T3 suppressor. I'm a big fan of the Yankee Hill cans. I think that they perform very well, especially at that price point. So it was a no-brainer for me to go ahead and throw that on my build. From there, I went ahead and added some sling points to the rifle so that I could add the Magpul MS4 sling. This is also a sling that I have a lot of familiarity with. I've got these on most of my rifles. It's a pretty basic sling, but it does the job, and it does the job well. Keeps it strapped to my body, which is really all I needed to do. Moving on back, I went ahead and grabbed the Holosun HS515GM optic. This particular optic is one of Holosun's more duty-rated optics. It's a very robust optic, especially at the price point. Continuing from there, the SIG actually has a ambidextrous lower receiver, which I think is very nice, especially at that sub $1,000 price point. Having the ambidextrous lower receiver is a pretty sweet little feature. And I'm a big fan of the furniture that the SIG Tread comes with right out of the box. My favorite buttstock is the Magpul SLK. Which this comes with right out of the box, and it's got a very comfortable pistol grip. Oh, and then I forgot the Arisaka finger stop. That's awesome. It's a great little barricade, good index point for when I'm shooting, and it weighs nothing. So all in all, this build, as it sits right here, costs a total of $1,837. So I was able to squeak in just under that $2,000 mark. The only thing it's missing that I really, really wish it had was a good weapon light. But unfortunately, the one that I wanted to use for this build is currently sold out at Modern Warriors because you savages bought them all out. That's my build. Now Brian went a little bit different route, and I really like what he ended up with.
So as an Army veteran, I couldn't help but love the classic M4 carbine style that you get out of this Stag Arms. This is the Stag 15. A lot of the furniture that it comes with is very reminiscent of those classic M4 style carbines. One of the first changes I made was the grip. I switched to the B5 Systems grip. It's a much more comfortable grip. I went with the Aimpoint Pro as my optic. I went with a Blue Force Gear sling, time tested and proven, made in America, great slings. Moving forward, I went with the same Yankee Hill T3 Turbo suppressor. In my opinion, another great budget option because it comes with the needed muzzle device to mount discount that. For a suppressor that comes in at a great price point, it comes with what you'll need right out of the box. So on this build, running a suppressor, wanted to be honest with you guys, if I do switch my charging handle to the much preferred Griffin Armament gas-friendly charging handle, it does put me just over my $2,000 budget. With that charging handle, this build comes in at $2,040. So I'm a little bit over, but if you're willing to creep over that $2,000 budget, that's a purchase well worth it.
Agreed. And we actually did a whole video talking about the Snatch charging handle, and we were able to demonstrate how effective it can be, especially when compared to a standard mil-spec charging handle.
Absolutely.
Like Brian said, these get the job done. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. They work, they've been used a lot, but they're not ideal. That is something I also would eventually swap out on my gun, is that mil-spec charging handle, because they're kind of small, they're kind of a pain in the butt to use, especially in those higher stress situations. And they really don't do anything to mitigate the gas blowback when shooting a suppressed rifle. So like Brian was saying, going to a charging handle that is designed to help kind of bleed those gases away from your face when shooting a suppressed rifle is a huge advantage.
Absolutely.
And while there's a million ways to skin a cat, these are just kind of two examples that we put together earlier today with kind of that budget in mind. It's kind of nice to know that you don't have to break the bank in order to get a good quality rifle. With so many manufacturers out there these days, it's not crazy difficult to get a good quality rifle if you're willing to do a little shopping around, maybe look for some good deals, which we have all the time here at Modern Warriors. We'll put out good promo codes. So just kind of keep your eyes peeled for things like that.
So here at Modern Warriors, just about all of us are huge fans of suppressors. We love to run them on our personal guns. That being said, you could absolutely build both of these firearms at about $500 cheaper without that. And that opens up a few other options as far as within your budget. Be sure to check modernwarriors.com. We often are offering sales around holidays, particularly, where we offer to pay for your tax stamp on NFA items.
Yeah, so that can make a huge difference. And we understand that suppressors aren't an option in some states. So with that being the case, you can very easily kind of start to tailor these examples to suit your needs. Maybe if you can't get the suppressor because of state restrictions, okay, but no problem. Go ahead and throw that at $500 towards another case of ammo and spend some more time on the range and really get those basics down as far as your skill sets. Because ultimately at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how much money you sink into your rifle. If you're not training with it, none of this matters. So really get out there, spend that time behind the gun, and you'll pretty quickly figure out what it is that you actually need with your setup and what you don't.
So if any of you viewers have any questions about the specifications or kind of fine details of any of the parts included in these builds, please reach out to us. If you're local, swing by, talk to a member of the team. We love putting the firearms in your hands and showing you, what they're capable of doing, walking you through what may be the best option and the best fit as far as accessories for you. And we're happy to work with your budget. Whatever that budget may be, we'll build you a phenomenal rifle in your budget.
So thank you for watching today's Tactical Tuesday. We hope that we were able to kind of help plant the seed in your mind that you don't have to spend a ton of money to get a good quality rifle. And like Brian said, if you have any questions whatsoever about any of the products shown here, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to get you taken care of. And as always, continue to train hard, train smart, and until next week, God bless you.